Okay, we did not do 15B, and I wanted to do that because, hush, hush. I want to do 15B because it talks about finding an angle, and on 14 you have to find an angle, so I'm gonna make sure we do one of those. A ship leaves port heading 75 degrees north of east and travels through. So do you guys remember that from yesterday that we talked about? 75 degrees north of east would look like that.
Treats for teachers.
Goodness sakes, why are we getting spoiled?
I just keep doing
Well, might want to fast forward the video about it.
Well, I would need my dog to shake the jury.
Show it off to the camera.
What did you say? Yeah, show the camera. What is that?
Why would you do that? What is the purpose?
Flip out soon.
I don't know. Because my mom did it because I
I need a drink. Volleyball?
Yeah, our first opening gym. I explained it to you to understand, so and then we started videos.
Aren't you still doing like league stuff though? No, you're not.
Well, we have open gym and then we start practices like towards the beginning.
Okay.
It's basically practice.
Okay, on B it says if the ship changes course from this point and travels due east for another 300 miles, so due east would be that way. Maybe made it a little bit too long. The question is, find the distance that the ship is from port. So port is where they started out right here. So find this distance. And describe the ship's position relative to the port. Okay. Well, shoot. What did we do? We need answers from A from yesterday. A was 78 and 290. Actually, we don't. I don't want that line. Let's take that out. We don't. Okay, so I'm just gonna extend this right here. You got that right there. Well. How do they want you to find this?
We should skip it. You don't even know.
Yeah, no, perfect.
Don't even know.
How do you just do And we skip this. Please.
Seems like you have to have something we haven't learned yet, so I'm missing something.
We're not too prepared. I don't know. So we'll just get that too prepared.
Well, if I draw this line back in, this one was 75 right here from yesterday. So in this little right triangle, this would have to be 15. And then this right here is going to be 90 because it's just going straight east. So altogether that would be 105. From there to That's 300.
You said you stopped playing.
Like, you don't know how many times I've asked him to give me the. And that's the one
Did
thing
you
he
get
always
your
asks me.
new glasses look good on you? I like the old ones
You
better.
guys, they're
Oh.
glittery.
The old ones match your jacket though.
Yeah, I don't wear that jacket anymore. My mom, I don't know, she took them, she said she burned them.
Oh. Why?
This is a
She
tough
was
one.
sick of me wearing them.
I think I just. It's from yesterday. We found out that this was 290, and so I just kind of copied. And also we found out that this was
What?
They're the water bubbles down.
78.
I stopped drinking out of that because I stopped liking ice.
Okay.
I mean, I still like
So,
it.
all right. I
Yeah,
think.
I
Shh, girls. I think I got it. So this was. We found out yesterday. This was 78. Like that's how far east the boat was it plane? It was a plane. No, it was a boat. And this was 290 going north. So I just kind of copied that over here. Now, how far would it be from here to here? 300, because it's a rectangle. So this whole thing from here to here is 378. And this is 290. So basically our big right triangle here is 378 and 290. And they want us to find this thing. We don't really need trig to find this. Do you guys know how we can find this? Pythagorean theorem. So that's a big one. 378 squared plus 298 squared. And what do we do with that? That equals x squared, so we have to square root whatever that is. And that would be the distance the plane traveled.
It's the Pythagorean theorem. Sorry. if it was an animal, guess what animal it would be? Bro.
What?
A python.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. You just lost a point.
Of what?
Guys, did you know that Mr. Durham actually a fan of Andrew Garfield? I saw
Whoa.
him searching up pictures.
Really? We should check the search history.
Wait, I should have a question.
Yes, there's a
I think
picture.
it may have been you. I was behind someone yesterday and Emily honked my horn at them. Was it you?
I don't remember anybody honking at
They
me.
sound
I
really
thought it was
serious,
you.
like really
Yeah,
sad,
they sound
like
really
clown car.
stupid.
Honk. I don't remember honk.
Okay. I was hoping.
My car is kind of common. Alright, need anybody plug that in? Probably not.
No.
Yeah, it's
476. Okay, that's one answer. The other answer they wanted is, what's this angle? And this is kind of what I wanted to do this problem for. They want us to describe the angle right here. Like how many degrees north of east are they going? And we didn't do one of these yesterday, so I want to make sure to do it. So, you guys remember how we find an angle? Right, inverse, exactly. So relative to this angle, what two sides do I have right here? Opposite and adjacent, which is tangent. So tangent of the angle is supposed to equal opposite over adjacent. So what do we plug in to go backwards to figure out what the angle is? Yeah, some of you already said it. It's called tangent inverse. That means a little -1 thing of 290 over 378. Okay, this is how you have to do number 14 because it's asking for you to find an angle on 14 as well. And they said we're supposed to round this to the 10th place, so they put 37.5 degrees north of east. I wouldn't take points off for not putting north of east, but anyways.
East, like Easter.
Oh my gosh.
Alright, that was kind of a mess. Actually, let's look at 14. Let's look at 14. I'm not gonna do it, but I'll help you guys. You guys will help me draw a picture. How about on 14? A plane is flying at an altitude of 22,000 feet. So, what's altitude mean? Straight up and down. So the plane is flying at an altitude of 22,000 feet. That means straight off the ground. Okay, then it says it approaches Mount Kilimanjaro, whose summit is 19,330 feet. So what does that mean? The mountain is almost as high as the plane. I guess I'll make it look about right. So here's the ground. The height of Mount Kilimanjaro, what'd they say? 19,330. Okay, so the plane's barely over the mountain, basically, is what they're telling us. And find the angle of depression the plane makes with the peak when the plane's direct distance to the peak is 4,000. So the plane is a little bit above the peak, and they're saying, what's the angle of, as they say, elevation? Angle of depression. Which would be like, how much is this plane looking down at this peak? They said the direct distance between the plane and the mountain is 4,000 feet. So what do you think they mean by that? That would be, direct would be like from the plane directly to the peak. So that would be the hypotenuse. Now, this is not a right triangle right now. Okay, so what we need to do is draw in the horizontal line right here. Like that. And now that's a right triangle. Okay, maybe I should have made it a little bit bigger, but so it doesn't look as skinny. All right. Well, okay, that's good enough. We'll say that's a right triangle. Now, they want us to know. Say what the angle of depression is, like how much is this plane looking down from like straight ahead. But that would be the same as the angle of elevation right here. So that'll be like our angle. We are missing one fact though. Something that we know, but we haven't said yet. What's this gap right here? How tall is that right there? Okay, the plane is 22,000 feet in the air. The mountain is 19,330 feet in the air. So this gap is just the difference between those two heights. That's how much taller the plane is than the mountain, how much higher it is. 22,000 minus 19,330, 2,670. Okay. You guys see where we're going? So the angle of depression, the angle looking down, will be the same as the angle of elevation, the angle you would look up from the mountain. It's not this angle. This is not the angle of depression or elevation. This one. So relative to this angle, what two sides are we looking at here? Opposite and hypotenuse. So that would be opposite hypotenuse. Oh. No, opposite is sine, yeah.
I'm kidding. I like everything.
Okay. Anyways, that's what you have to do.
Hold up. 2, 6, 7, 0, 4, 0, 0, 0.
Okay, girl, you can do it.
Tone
Ooh,
it.
someone's nasty.
Tone it down. All right. Number 17, state the three basic trig ratios of angle theta in standard position if its terminal side passes through the given point. What does that mean? Well, means we're doing trigonometry on a coordinate plane. So they say that a line is passing through negative 2, 8. So where is negative 2, 8 at on the graph?
Negative
2 left, up 8. We don't really need the graph. But it would be like up here. It'd be left 2, so right there, and then up 8. Okay, the line is passing through that point. And here's our little theta, whatever, angle. So they want the 3 basic trig ratio. Yeah, 3 trig ratios for that. So what's sine, what's cosine, and what's tangent? Okay, so what ratio is sine supposed to tell? Oh, well, all right, we don't have this one right now, right? So how could I find this one? Pythagorean theorem. So 2 squared plus 8 squared should equal this squared. So it's going to be basically the square root of 2 squared plus 8 squared. So that's 64, 68. Square root of 68 is 2 square root of 17. Alright, now we can do this. Sine is supposed to be what over what?
Opposite over height.
Right. Opposite means across. Opposite over hypotenuse. Okay. Those reduce, and then when you multiply by square root of 17, you get 4 square root of 17 over 17. Okay, cosine is what over what? Yeah, adjacent. In this case, notice I left 2 as a negative because it's like left 2. Adjacent is negative 2. Hypotenuse is 2 square root of 17. The 2's cancel out, and then you multiply top and bottom by square root of 17. So it's negative square root of 17 over 17. Of course, a lot of you, or maybe all of your calculators can do that without. Anyways, tangent is what over what? Opposite over adjacent. So the opposite is 8, and the adjacent is negative 2. And that one comes out nice. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. So these are the 3. Alright. So did you guys see how I set that one up? So on 16, what would the triangle look like? Right 5, yep. She said right 5, so this would be like 5, and then down 4. So that would be like a negative 4. And then you do 4 squared plus 5 squared, and the square root of that. That's 25 plus 16 is 41. Doesn't come out very nice. It's square root of 41. That will be that. Okay? And just do sine, cosine, tangent of that triangle. It's a little bit, I kind of am labeling this wrong. Theta is actually this angle, not really this angle, but that's okay. Just pretend like it's that one when you get it right. Alright. I'm not going to do a ton because I want to give you guys time to work on these or ask questions. I was thinking 22 actually. So 19, it says in the directions S equals R theta. That is a formula that they are giving us. This stood for the arc length. We did this a long time ago, but S stands for an arc length, R stands for a radius, theta stands for a central angle in the circle. But they're just telling us in the directions this is the formula. We don't even have to understand this to use that. Okay, so on 19 it says r equals 8. So we're going to put 8 for the radius. And then it says theta is 5 pi over 6. Okay, you guys remember radians? We'll talk about it. I'll remind you tomorrow. But this is an angle measure, but it's written in radians. Okay, and we just have to find the missing letter. So in this case, all you have to do is radius times theta. And just leave your answer with a pi in it. So, like 8 and 6 reduce, your calculator can do this, but 4 times 5 pi is 20 pi over 3. I guess they put that and they put a decimal, so I guess it doesn't really matter which one you choose. Okay, 21, we're using the same formula, but this time they're giving us different stuff. Oh no, that's 20, never mind. Okay, on 20 they give you the s and the theta. So to solve for r, you would have to divide on that one. You gotta get r by itself. Okay, 21, these are actually really easy, and 22 is really easy too. Once you know how to do it, they're easy. So, we need a converter. How do we convert 280 degrees into what we called radians? Well, pi radians are equal to 180. So, this is the degrees to radians converter. Divides out the degrees and it multiplies in the radians. And so this is what you plug in. Let's see, what would that reduce to? If we divide by 20, we would get 14, 6. We divide by 4. No, 20 is 4. 14 and 9. Okay. You can just use your calculator. So 280 degrees is 14 pi over 9 radians. You guys remember radians? Anyway, you just multiply by pi over 180. So 180, actually you guys should know this one. 180 degrees equals how many radians? Don't need a converter for this one. Come on, it was only 2 weeks ago, wasn't that long? 180 degrees is how many radians? Pi radians, thank you. Okay, 180 degrees is pi radians. Remember this picture we drew? This is like 0 degrees, 180. And this is also 0 radians, pi radians, pi over 2. Anyways, yeah. C is 36. So multiply by pi over 180. It's 36 degrees. Reduces with 180. Some reason I remember this one is just pi over 5. D says 335. I don't know if I can reduce that one very well. I think 15 goes into that. 5 goes into that. 67 times. And 180 divided by 5 is 36. So it's 67 pi. Did you already plug it in your calculator?
Yeah.
Make me do all that work?
Yeah.
Okay, for 22, I'm not going to do these, but they're not hard. It says pi over 8, so it's giving you the radians. And all you have to do is turn pi radians into 180 degrees. So you just do 180 divided by 8. So all you do is you turn the pi into a 180. So if it was like 3 pi over 2, you would do 3 times 180 divided by 2. Okay. Pi radians is the same thing as 180 degrees. Alright, I think we'll stop there for today.